I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam Lai Chanjo Pardo Nage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjre Sanye Drupare Sho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam Lai Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyapso Nage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjre Sanye Drupare Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Lai Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyapso Che Nage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjre Sanye Drupare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum De Gato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata, the cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, yesterday we were talking about the subjective and objective. What we said is that the subjective objective, what we said is that the difference between the waking state and the sleep, the dream, the difference between these two states. The dream and the waking state is, in the dream, we see the dream as real, as objectively real. This is what we see. When you wake up, we see dream as subjectively real. Very good. So in the dream, we see dream as objectively real, and waking up, we see dream as subjectively real. This is the difference. And what we said is, we said three important points with the dream, three important points waking up. Three importance with the dream is that seeing the dream as real. Number one, seeing the dream as real is ignorance. Number one, this is what I said yesterday. And it happens in the dream. Number two. And which means ignorance happens in the dream. And number three, the outcome. Outcome is seeing the dream as real, dream tiger is real, dream earthquake is real, then the fear arises. So these are the 3 points we said, that in the dream, what happens? Number one, seeing the dream is real is ignorance, number one. And that it happens in the dream, and the outcome is that the fear arises, which we don't want. Now, likewise, 3 points with the waking state. Seeing the dream as not real. Seeing the dream as not real. Is not real meaning is not objective. It is just subjective. Seeing the dream as not objective is wisdom or ignorance. Is a wisdom, number one. Number two, it happens in the dream or waking state. It happens in the waking state, number two. Number three, what's the outcome? The fear of the dream drops. The fear of the dream drops. You agree? Okay, these are 3 points we need to keep in mind, and these 3 points, as you gain conviction, for this, what conviction do you need to gain to feel that, wow, this is amazing? What conviction do you need to gain? Anyone? Okay, the lady here, what's your name? Yes. Tanya. Tanya, okay. Tanya from? Switzerland. Okay. Gabriela. Okay, so anyone who would tell me that in order to feel, wow, these 3 points are amazing, what conviction do you need to gain? Or what do we have, how to get this feeling? Anyone, what should we be doing? Anyone? Yes, Cyrus.
Wake up.
Wake up means this is a metaphor. What should we be actually doing?
We should see things for what they are.
Okay, I don't know. Cyrus, his style is to go to keep things very hidden. I could see what he's saying is correct, but the other people listen to Cyrus, wow, it's very hidden, very gravity is there, but it's little hidden. Okay, seeing to see things as they are. Okay. Okay, over there, Stefan.
You have awareness.
Well, awareness we already have. I'm aware that we are here. Gendila.
Conviction to want infinite happiness.
I see. Okay. Okay. Okay, but the point is that three points. I said 3 points related to sleep, dream, three points related to waking state. To say, wow, that's amazing. These 3 points are just amazing. To feel that, what should you be convinced of? Libeng? Okay, this is also a little hidden. Is correct, but little hidden. Yes, Nivita.
We should be able to see the dream as a dream and practice it.
Okay, you are going too literal. Okay. Yes, Gagan.
We should be able to see or accept that we are sleeping.
Okay, this is also little. I don't know, this group is little hidden. Okay, yes, the Misha.
We have to be convinced that everything that we see as being objective is ultimately dependent on our own subjectivity.
Okay, we have to know that things are objective. Very good. Okay, I was shocked. Okay, so what the Misha is saying, that we have to know that everything is subjective, like the dream. Just as the dream is subjective, we know now. We know now that the conventional dream is subjective. Likewise, we have to know that everything is subjective, which is the other way of saying, which is another way of saying, everything is empty of objective existence. You're getting it? So when I said this flower is mine, it's another way of saying, Chris, it's another way of saying this flower is mine. It's not yours. It's not yours. Likewise, everything is subjective. This is another way of saying, okay, the Abhinasha. to say this is subjective. This is another way of saying. Very good. This is not objective. This is empty of objective existence. Okay, you're getting it? So when you say emptiness, somebody tells you, but the emptiness we have to understand, emptiness doesn't mean empty, empty, empty. It means empty of objective existence. Dream exists or not exists? Dream. Dream exists, not exists? Okay, exists. Dream exists. Don't say dream does not exist. Dream exists subjectively or objectively? Subjectively. It is empty of objective existence. When we say the dream is empty of objective existence, does not mean dream does not exist. Dream does exist. But it does not exist objectively. You getting it? Okay. So this is what we have yesterday learned. And as Misha said, that in order for we to feel the awe, wow, that's amazing. To see the dream as objective, as real, that is ignorance. Number two, hey, the 3 points. And that it happens in the dream, and outcome is the fear of the dream. And you see the dream as empty of objective reality, that is ignorance of wisdom. Number one, this is wisdom. Number two, it happens in the waking state, not in the dream. For this, you have to wake up. Number three, the outcome is the fear of dream drops. All the fear of dream drops. Okay, so this for to really feel the wow, this is amazing. All the fear of samsara drops. All the fear of the dream of samsara drops if I realize that everything is subjectively real. Okay, then the aspiration, the desire. The more you feel the fear of samsara, the more you feel the pain of samsara. Samsara doesn't mean somewhere else. What we are going through, the tears that we have shed in this life, the tears that we have shed in our previous lives, the tears that we are left to be shed, they are left to be shed in the future time as well. This all fall in the category of the samsara, painful samsara, which is suffering of suffering. And that is lured by the suffering of change and masterminded by the pervasive conditioned suffering. You remember that. So with this in mind, the more you think of this, the more you feel like getting away from this. The more you feel like getting away from this, okay, let's say that there is somebody who's extremely a bully and always bullying you. And there is another person who does not like anybody bullying anybody. So you will say person A bullies you and person B does not like anybody bullying anybody. So you see that if you turn to person B, the B will support you. You getting it? The more you feel that person A is bullying you, the more you feel the benefit of the presence of person B. You're getting it? Likewise, more you feel the pain of samsara, the more you feel the preciousness of the wisdom of emptiness. Because preciousness of the wisdom of empty of objective existence, the more you feel the preciousness. So therefore it is so important for us to think of the renunciation, how samsara is so painful, so that you value the wisdom of emptiness much. The more you value the wisdom of emptiness, more quicker you will learn the wisdom of emptiness, more quicker you will experience the wisdom of emptiness. And then the benefit will be quicker. Okay, this is how it works. So with this in mind, let me quickly, this class, this is third day? Fourth day. So seems like the pace at which we're going is quite quick. I really appreciate it. I don't know how much we're learning, but the pace seems quite quick, quite fast. Maybe because of Chelsea? No? Okay, so let's say that, so we talked about the Buddha nature, hidden treasure within us. So it's hidden. Hidden means there's a treasure there, and this treasure is obscured by something. You agree? Obscured by something. So to remove this, the obscuration or obscures this hidden treasure, we need to know the nature of the hidden treasure. We need to know the nature of the obscurations. You agree? Okay, this is very important. If you don't know for example, let's say that, okay, let me give you the example. Say, my handkerchief, 1 month ago, it fell in a mud. 1 month ago, my handkerchief fell, a brand new handkerchief, it fell in a mud. And I was worried. I washed under running water, lucky that it became so clean. Then, 1 week ago, again it fell somewhere. And this time I'm not worried because last time I washed under running water, it becomes so clean. I washed under running water, it is not becoming clean. What was the problem? Anyone? Hey, anyone? Steve? Oh, yes, it fell in grace. We studied this already? So if I wash under running water, then Steve will tell me that no point. But last time I washed it under the running water, it became so clean. But nature of the defilement is different. You agree? Earlier, the defilement was just mud. This time is grace. So therefore, with the mud, the running water is good. But for the grease, you need additional detergent, a different antidote. Likewise, the point is that to know what is to be eradicated, what is to be removed, you have to know the nature of the defilement. Without knowing the nature of the defilement, then the remedy that you're going to apply may not work. So to know the remedy, to know the mental defilements, what we said is that mental defilements is of two kinds. One which is gross and the other which is subtle. For example, like simple, say solid garlic smashed in the mug, and then you versus remove the solid garlic, completely wash under running water, no solid garlic at all left, smell it, it still smells garlic. You agree? Okay, so there are two stains. One is solid garlic and the other smell of the garlic. These two. Which is more easy to be removed? Solid garlic. The smell is more difficult to be removed. So solid garlic, like our mental defilement, which obscures its Buddha nature, is of two kinds, gross and subtle. Gross one is like solid garlic. Technically it is known as afflictive obscurations. Technically it is known as afflictive obscurations. And the subtle one, which is more difficult to remove, is known as cognitive obscurations. Okay. Now, what constitutes the afflictive obscurations? What constitutes afflictive obscurations? Since that we have already learned this verse by Aranyagārjuna. Cease to encompass afflictions is nirvana. Okay, by the way, Gagan, did you make sure everybody recite by heart?
I gave them more time.
Maybe you're underestimating them. You're underestimating them, you give more time, they don't require more time. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to be as generous as Gagan. Right? Okay, Titi, ready? Oh, Chelsea, ready?
Ceasing karma and affliction is nirvana. Karma and affliction arise from conceptual thoughts.
Very good.
These arise from elaboration and self-grasping ignorance.
Very good. Okay, all of...
Elaboration dissolve by and into everything.
Okay. Cyrus.
Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attentions arises from elaborations of self-grasping ignorance. These elaborations cease by or into emptiness.
Wonderful. Very good. Okay, now we have, seems like here the senior most is Shalini. Shalini senior most, right? No, I think you met me before.
Seizing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thoughts. These arise from elaborations of grasping at true existence. Elaboration sees bio into emptiness.
Wonderful, amazing. Huh? No, it's the same thing. Whatever Cyrus, whatever Chelsea, they all, I'm just learning to repeat. Okay, very good. So, Gagan, when are you going to take the test?
Right, right after lunch.
Okay. For this, somebody has to first take the test of Gagan himself. I think maybe because that he did not know, he did not learn it himself, so they will give more time to others. Okay, Nivita. Okay, Living.
Speaking of karma and afflictions is nirvana. Karma and afflictions arises from the conceptualizations of inappropriate attention, which arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. The elaboration seems with wisdom.
Very good, very good. Maria.
Affliction is nirvana, karmas and affliction arise by concept of earth for inappropriate attention. These arise by mental elaborations to self-grasping ignorance. This is by or into emptiness.
Very good, very good. Okay, Aditi.
Seizing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thoughts. These inappropriate attention arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Elaboration sees bio into emptiness.
Very good. Okay, Lakshraj.
The season of karma and afflictions is nirvana. Affliction arise from the conceptual thoughts or the
Conceptual, yes.
and these arise from the collaboration of
Self-grasping ignorance.
and elaboration sees bio into emptiness.
Very good, very good. Okay, good. Good. Okay, good. Shobit?
Seizing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thought. These arise from elaboration, grasping at true existence. Elaboration sees by
Very good, very good. Okay, good. So, Gagan, learn it before lunch, take the test. Okay, good. Okay. So, it has become very easy for us now. 5 points out of this verse. Number 1 is samsara. Number 2, contaminant karmas. Number 3, afflictions. Number 4, inappropriate attention. Number 5, self-grasping ignorance. Okay, let me quickly identify each one of them so that it becomes clear for us to move further. Let's say that say we have a dream and we dream of the flower. First, what we do is that there's no flower there, but you exaggerate your mind. Your mind creates a basis of all the problems. This the problem is, say, okay, let's talk about the mobile, dream mobile. There's just a dream mobile coming from mind. There's nothing from the object. You first mentally create an object there, objective, brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. You project this, mentally you create this. Okay, first you mentally create a dream mobile. But the dream mobile, you exaggerate this as very expensive one. So the first, you create the object. Objectively, there's nothing there. There's no real mobile there. You create you misconceive a mobile there. It's actually dream mobile coming from your mind, nothing from the object. First, you create from the object a mobile. Your mind projects it. Then you exaggerate the quality. First one, exaggerating the dream mobile is objective real. That is the elaboration. The first one. First from the bottom. Then with the elaboration, then next is conceptualization of the inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention is exaggerating the qualities of the object. Now you see there's a mobile. There's no mobile. But your mind misconceive a mobile there. Then you exaggerate this mobile, saying that this mobile is extremely expensive mobile. You exaggerate the qualities of the mobile. Exaggerating the qualities of the mobile, that is the inappropriate attention. We cannot guess what it is. You have to know this technically. Inappropriate attention is exaggerating the qualities of the object. Elaboration is misconceiving the object as objectively real. Let me repeat it. First, elaboration. Elaboration is misconceiving the object as objectively real. That is the elaboration. Now, once you exaggerate the object as objectively real, then you exaggerate the qualities of the object. Exaggerating the qualities of the object as extremely good or extremely bad, that is inappropriate attention. It is not always good. You can also exaggerate it as bad. Inappropriate attention. Then the attachment aversion, we know what it is. Attachment is involuntary pull. Aversion is involuntary push. Let me repeat it. Attachment is involuntary pull and aversion is involuntary push. So, attachment. So, when we feel attached to things, you feel good. But in actuality, if I say attachment, you may feel that it's okay, what's wrong with this? But if I say involuntary pull, is it good or bad? Involuntary pull, is good or bad? If I say involuntary pull, everybody will say this is not appreciated. Involuntary. Involuntary. Involuntary means that I don't have the freedom. Without freedom, somebody pulls. This is not good. But when you say attachment, I'm attached to a mobile, I'm attached to my mom, dad, husband, wife, whatever. I'm attached to that. We see this as normal. But if I say that involuntary pull to somebody, this is an element of lack of freedom. Lack of freedom nobody appreciates. So, attachment is nothing but the involuntary pull. Aversion is nothing, involuntary push. So involuntary, when you become very angry, as though it gives you like energy, false energy, and you become so very strong. It's not strong. It is involuntary push. Involuntary push. You don't have the freedom. This is not because of you voluntarily did it. There's involuntary push happening. This is loss of freedom. So where anger is happening, and then you feel that I have so much strength. This is an illusion. Yes, it's a self-deception. It's nothing. It's an involuntary push. Involuntary means you have loss of freedom. Loss of freedom is misery. There's nothing good in it. Okay. So finally, all these problems are because of the involuntary pull and push. Involuntary pull and push. And you remember we talked about what's the third illustration that I gave for the pervasive conditioned suffering. You remember? The third illustration that I gave. Third example that I gave for the pervasive conditioned suffering. Dr. Mona Lisa? Contaminated neutral feelings. How many of you agree with Dr. Mona Lisa? Yes. Okay. Now, let's say that attachment, aversion, these things happen because of the feelings. You getting it? Because of the feelings. The feelings. When the feelings, you feel a pleasant feeling, you feel attached to it. Involuntary pull. When the unpleasant feeling comes, your mind is involuntarily pushed. So involuntary push and pull happen because of the feelings, pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling. What is in between the two? Pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling? Neutral feeling. You getting it? What does neutral feeling do? Neutral feeling, contaminated neutral feeling is, okay, look, involuntary pull is because of which feeling? Pleasant feeling, contaminated pleasant. Involuntary push happens because of, okay, involuntary push is the manifestation that gives rise to the suffering. Involuntary pull gives rise to the suffering. Involuntary pull is because of the pleasant feeling, there is suffering change. Involuntary push is because of unpleasant feeling, this is suffering. Unpleasant feeling gives rise to unpleasant feeling, which is the suffering, gives rise to the involuntary push. Pleasant feeling, which is contaminated pleasant feeling. I should make this difference. Contaminated pleasant feeling, which is suffering of change. It gives rise to the involuntary pull. Now there's a neutral feeling, contaminated neutral feeling. Contaminated neutral feeling and contaminated. What's the problem? Anyone? Contaminated neutral feeling. What's the problem? It also is a problem. That falls under which suffering? Pervasive conditioned suffering. It falls under pervasive conditioned suffering. It's also a problem. In what way it is a problem? Anyone? In the contaminated neutral feeling. In the first place, what does it mean by contaminated neutral feeling? This question. Anyone? What does it mean by contaminated neutral feeling? Living? Yes. Very good. Let's say in the dream, say you see your mom, dad, husband, wife, children, you see in the dream, you feel so happy. And you see, the next moment you see that your mom, husband, whatever, become sick. You feel so unpleasant. You're getting it? And then your mom recovers, and then you feel normal. You feel normal feeling, neutral feeling. When you have neutral feeling, but the neutral feeling is mixed with the belief that the dream is real. Yes, seeing the dream as real is ignorance or not? Is ignorance. So even that neutral feeling is mixed with the ignorance. So ignorance is one which is contaminated. So mixed with the ignorance, that neutral feeling is known as contaminated neutral feelings. So because you believe that things are object real in the dream. So that the next moment, because this belief that the dream is real, that you don't put effort to get up. You don't put effort to get out. So you think that it's real. As such, and in this dream, then the next dream, any dream can happen. Unpleasant, pleasant, any dream can happen. And whereas if you know that this is empty of objective reality, this comes from a mind, then the next part of the dream cannot affect you. So this, in other words, the contaminated neutral feeling serves as the foundation on which the miseries arise. So this is the foundation, the mastermind. If you can get rid of this contaminated neutral feeling, then the next miseries will all stop because you wake up. How to see the contaminated neutral feeling is a problem? By seeing the emptiness. Without seeing the emptiness, you cannot see the problem of the contaminated neutral feelings. Okay, good. So having said this, but we say afflictive obscurations, the gross afflictions. What is the job of the gross affliction? It is to stop you to experience fearlessness. The gross affliction, what is that? Gross obscurations, also referred to as afflictive obscurations. That is the one which stops you from experiencing. Or in other words, it attracts all the tears of samsara. It stops you from experiencing the fearlessness. The tears is the manifestation of fear. The fear, uneasiness, pains. Okay, so on the afflictive obscurations, attract all the miseries, and it stops you from. Opposite of misery is nirvana. Ceasing karma's afflictions is nirvana. So that stops us from attaining nirvana. Or fearlessness in a secular context is known as fearlessness. And who's that? Who wants fearlessness? The Buddhists or non-Buddhists? Everyone, males or non-males. Everyone, females or non-females. Everyone, young, old. Everyone. Whereas if you say nirvana, people will say, oh, nirvana is a Buddhist concept, it's your concept. No, we are not. Right? So therefore, when we present things, we are not to convert people to Buddhist. We are to tell them the fact. You don't want nirvana? It doesn't matter. You want fearlessness? Yes. Right? And you have this fearlessness. You talk about fearlessness, sometimes words can be a barrier. Yes, Misha?
So these contaminated feelings.
Say it again.
So these contaminated feelings. So
Which this one?
involuntary pull, involuntary push, and then also contaminated neutral feelings. These are the three poisons, right?
Okay. Neutral feelings give rise to the three poisons. You getting it? So the neutral feelings, for example, involuntary, let's say the unpleasant feeling. Unpleasant feeling per se is not poison. Unpleasant feeling triggers the poison of aversion. Pleasant feeling, contaminated pleasant feeling. Pleasant feeling per se is not a problem. Uncontaminated pleasant feeling is there. Contaminated pleasant feeling triggers involuntary pull attachment. That's a poison. Okay, good. Now with this, what we're saying is that what constitutes the afflictive obscurations? So since we've already studied, miseries is a result given rise to by, hey, what happened? By contaminated karmas, which in turn are triggered by afflictions. So here when you say afflictions, okay, let me later. Afflictions, and which in turn is triggered by inappropriate attention, which in turn is triggered by self-grasping ignorance. So my question to you is that first, let me make a statement that self-grasping ignorance, inappropriate attention, both afflictions. Why we said the third one is affliction? Why we said third one is affliction? Mona Lisa?
The third one is a gross affliction, and the first two are subtle.
Very good. Third one is a gross affliction. And the first two are afflictions. They are the subtle afflictions. Subtle one. All the first three combined together in the elaboration, inappropriate attention, affliction that is a gross affliction, three combined together falls under the category of affliction. And then we have contaminated karmas. So if somebody asks you, what do you understand by afflictive obscurations? The gross mental obscurations, of which is technically known as afflictive obscurations. What is it constituted of? You can say contaminated karmas and afflictions. Contaminated karmas and afflictions. Within afflictions, all three are there. Gross afflictions, inappropriate attention, the elaboration, all are there. In short, we can say afflictive obscurations is constituted of contaminated karmas and afflictions. And you want to add more, you can say contaminated karmas, afflictions, and active seeds of the first two. Active seeds. What does it mean by active seeds? Okay, how many you are angry now? Maya, you are angry? Now? Huh? Not or not much? Not much. Not. Okay. You're smiling, you're not angry, I can see that. Okay, so we're not angry, but after the retreat, you go home, and then your mother says, cup of tea? What cup of tea? Always cup of tea. What cup of tea? Anger comes out. Right? Hey Maya, yes? Yes, what cup of tea? Always cup of tea. No cappuccino, no latte. Right? Then anger comes out. So this anger came from where? When you're in Bodhgaya, you do not have anger. And suddenly your anger came back. It was hiding in the form of a seed. Active seed. Seed. Apple seed is not apple. You agree with me? Apple seed is not apple, but it has the potential to give rise to apples in the future. You're getting it? Likewise, these seeds, we have the seeds of anger. These are not anger, but these are the seeds of anger. They can give rise to, they are active seeds. They can actively give rise to apples in the future. So, we can say, what constitutes afflictive obscurations? Quantum karmas, afflictions, and active seeds of the first two. Very good. Okay. Next, what constitutes the cognitive obscurations? Before we discuss this, cognitive obscurations, the subtle stain, the smell of the garlic like mental defilement, subtle stain is technically known as cognitive obscurations. What does it do to us? In what way it harms us? It harms us in knowing all the phenomena simultaneously. It harms us in knowing all the phenomena simultaneously, or in other words, it harms us in experiencing infinite happiness. It harms us in ways to stop us from experiencing infinite happiness. Infinite happiness. Okay, so who likes infinite happiness? Okay, Anna, you like infinite happiness. Good. And Lakshraj, you like infinite happiness? Yes. Okay. Gagan? Good. Shobit? Good. Okay. So, we all like infinite happiness. And infinite happiness, technically speaking, it is known as Buddhahood. Buddhahood doesn't mean Buddhism, it means full awakening. Full awakening where the true nature of mind manifests fully. It experiences infinite happiness. Okay, so what obstructs us from experiencing infinite happiness is known as cognitive obscurations. The next question is, what exactly is cognitive obscuration? For example, we identified what exactly is afflictive obscurations. Contaminant karmas we do. Like all the 10 non-virtuous afflictions, anger, attachment, we all know that. And active seeds, we understand it. What about cognitive obscurations? Precisely what it is. So this is not easy to be explained at the moment. For this, somebody should remind me. Anyone who has to remind me later? When? Joshua, Gabor, 2, 3, Carl Tinshirla, 3, 4, Igor, yes, Peter, 5. Okay, we have 5 of them, and they will remind me what exactly is cognitive obscurations closer to the end of the retreat. Okay, good. Okay, so having said this, what we discussed, don't forget it. Now to remove the mental defilements, we need to identify the nature of the mental defilements. Without identifying the nature of the defilements well, without knowing the nature of the defilements well, we will not know what remedies to apply. Now that we know the nature of defilements, contaminant karmas given rise to by the gross afflictions, given rise to by the inappropriate attention, given rise to by self-grasping ignorance. Root is the ignorance. Okay. So we see the root of ignorance. And cognitive obscurations, they are like the subtle smell of the ignorance. Subtle smell of the ignorance and subtle smell of the afflictive obscurations. Subtle smell, all again rooted to the ignorance. So somehow all the mental defilements somehow associated with the ignorance. So given that all the mental defilements, the nature of the ignorance, so the remedy lies in the wisdom. You agree? Remedy lies in the wisdom. Remedy lies in the wisdom. And so therefore the next is, what is that wisdom? That wisdom is, anyone, what's that wisdom? Anyone, quick. What is that wisdom? What we have learned the last 4 days, last 3 days, 2 days, 4th day, Atiti? The wisdom which knows emptiness. Anybody else? Joyce?
Wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object and its
The wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tells with reality. What's the reality?
Everything is empty of
If they are empty of?
of objective reality.
Okay, now it's clear. Earlier it's hidden. Okay, now, okay, sorry, this is becoming clear now. So, from what we learned, what Gagan brought yesterday, objective, subjective. So, the wisdom to know that everything is empty of objective reality. So, this should be known. If you know this, then the 3 points associated with dream, 3 points associated with the waking state, you will feel the awe and the wonder. Now I've found the purpose of my life. My purpose of life is to wake up so that all the fears of the dream-like samsara will drop. How to wake up? By seeing everything as, Gagan, by seeing everything as
Devoid of any object.
empty of objective reality. Devoid of objective reality. Very good. Now how do you know that? How do you know that everything is empty of objective reality? This is the question. So to know this, first we have to know, okay, to know this, we have to go through the 2 entrances. If you fail to get through the 2 entrances, you cannot know the emptiness of objective reality. You will not understand the emptiness. So we have to go through the 2 entrances. So, what are the 2 entrances? The first entrance. Dorman Riza. What's the first entrance? Okay. Okay, Varma. Okay, so Varma says, the first entrance is, the 2 entrances are in the form of 2 questions. The first entrance, or first question is, do things exist? As Varma said, do things exist? What is the answer? Yes. If you say no, what's the problem, Lohana? You fall into nihilism. Do things exist? This is the first gate. If you say, no, things don't exist, Buddha taught everything's empty. If this is what you understand, this is nihilism, this is not emptiness. So you fail to get through the first gate. So therefore, the answer should be, yes, everything exists. Good things exist, bad things exist, samsara exists, nirvana exists. You do virtues, and with the wisdom you will get nirvana. With the ignorance you will get samsara. The efficacy of cause and effect is there. So this is undeniable truth. They exist. Okay. Then if you're able to say, yes, everything exists, you got through the first gate. Now you come to the second gate. Anyone who knows the second gate? Who knows the second gate? Okay. Yes, Maya.
how do they exist?
Okay, this is not wrong. Another way of saying, this is not wrong. This is another way of saying, hey, this is not wrong. What's another way of saying this? No. I said this is not wrong. This word, this is not wrong. What is another way of saying it? It is? Okay, I don't know. This is still learning way of putting it. Okay. This is not wrong, which means? It's correct, but I prefer to use the word it's not wrong rather than it's correct. It's correct, very strong. You're getting it? Okay, anyone else? What is the second gate? Okay, Satavisha. Very good. Second gate is, say Maya, what did you say? How do they exist? So now the precise way, which I would be very happy to say, yes, is correct, is do things exist objectively? Do things exist objectively? What's the answer? No, if you say yes, things exist objectively, you fall into absolutism. But the first two things exist. If you say no, you fall into nihilism. To the second question, if you do things exist objectively, if you say yes, you fall into absolutism. Do things exist objectively? If you say yes, you fall into absolutism. You could not pass through the second gate. So what should be the answer? Do things exist objectively? What's the answer? No. Which means you are freed from the extreme of absolutism. Good. Once you're able to get through these two gates, now you are entitled to speak of emptiness. You can talk about emptiness. Till that point, you are not entitled to talk about emptiness at all. And many people unfortunately, who do not get the opportunity to study systematically, to get the correct information, complete information, systematic information, there's a problem. Many of the professors, including professors, so they may have done philosophy, Western philosophy, doing the masters and PhD, and then go to university, start teaching philosophy, and then also start teaching Buddhist philosophy, and they never learn Buddhist philosophy, and they read books, and they explain this to students. Nagarjuna said nothing exists. This is a disaster. This is happening. It's a rampant event, rampant phenomena happening in the universities, rampantly. Very scary. People are misguided. They themselves don't know, and they misguide the students. This is very scary. Okay, so they could not go through these two gates, and still they teach emptiness. Emptiness as nothingness. It happens. It's very sad. Very sad. This is what is happening. Okay, so with this mind, now you are entitled to talk about emptiness. For that, you have to first know that emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness doesn't mean empty, nothing exists. This is not the meaning. Emptiness is the meaning of dependent origination. Okay, let me put it precisely. Emptiness equals dependent origination. And dependent origination equals the middle way. Let me repeat it. Emptiness equals dependent origination. Dependent origination equals the middle way. Therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. Let me say A equals B. B equals C. Therefore, A equals C. Likewise, emptiness equals dependent origination. Number one. Number two, dependent origination equals middle way. Therefore, what will you say? Akia? Therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. Perfect. Very good. Okay, now you have to prove. I just made statements. I made statements. We have to prove these statements to be correct. What's the first statement that I made? Emptiness equals dependent origination. How do we know that emptiness equals dependent origination? To know this, we have to know 5 points. To know that emptiness equals dependent origination, we have to know the 5 points. So what are the 5 points? 1, the first is emptiness, of course, emptiness. Number 2, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Okay, say, okay. Maya, what's the meaning of who? Maya, what is the meaning of who?
Like the person.
Oh, which person? Who? Right? This is not what I'm asking. I know what is who. Who is the short form of World Health Organization, right? I'm not asking who is that person. You're getting it? When I say what's the meaning of who, I meant the short form of World Health Organization. Likewise, when we say empty, it doesn't mean empty. It's a short form of emptiness of independent existence. You're getting it? Number one, emptiness, 5 points. Number one, emptiness. Number two, Lohena. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number three, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number three, nothing exists independently. Number three. Number four, nothing exists independent means everything exists by dependence. Everything exists by dependence. Everything exists by dependence. If everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. Okay, this is how, with the 5 points, you prove that emptiness means dependent origination. That first part is done. What's the second part? What's the second part? Hey Maya, what's the second part? What's the second part? Not the Tanya. Your name, Tanya. Yes, Tanya. What's the second part? Yes, dependent origination equals the middle way. So first, the statement that I made is emptiness equals dependent origination. That is done. Now, dependent origination equals the middle way. So that statement needs to be proved. So how do we know that dependent origination equals the middle way? So for this, we have to know two things. Dependent origination has two sides, dependence and origination. First, dependence. When we say dependence, what's the opposite of dependence? Independence. When you say dependence, it rejects independence. Independent existence, absolute existence, they mean the same. So when you say dependence, it rejects the extreme of independence, extreme of absolutism. Dependence, it rejects the extreme of absolutism. What's the second part? Origination. When you say origination, means something comes into origination, something comes into existence. What's the opposite of existence? Non-existence or nihilism. Non-existence or nihilism. When you say origination, it rejects nihilism. But dependence, it rejects the extreme of absolutism. Origination, it rejects the extreme of nihilism. Bringing the two together, dependent and origination, rejects the two extremes. Rejecting two extremes is following the middle way. So therefore, dependent origination means the middle way. So I said, emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origination equals the middle way. Therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. Very good. Okay, this is very important thing. The next thing is that dependent origination. What does it mean by dependent origination? Dependent origination, the Buddha, in a sutra, Salistamba Sutra, or rice that we eat, rice seedling sutra. In the rice seedling sutra, in this book, it is included in this book, this very important sutra. Later on, you have to study this. Initially, when you read it, it may look so dry. It may appear that, okay, what is it talking about? You may feel that, but this is so important for us to become a realistic person. For us to stay away from blind faith. This Rice Seedling Sutra has incredibly great power to take us away from blind faith and to become a realistic person. Okay, so in this sutra, what the Buddha taught is that whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whosoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. Let me repeat it. in the sutra. I'm just extracting the few points from the sutra. One point where the Buddha taught is, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma, and whosoever sees the dharma will see the Buddha. Okay, so what is that dependent origination? So to explain this, the Buddha again taught, because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Because of ignorance, karma comes into being. Because of the karma, consciousness comes into being. Because of which, name and form came into being. Because of which, sources came into being. Because of which, contact came into being. Because of which, the feeling came into being. Because of which, grasping, the attachment came into being. Because of which, the grasping came into being. Because of which, becoming, birth, aging and death, the bewilderment, confusion, all these heap of miseries arise. Then further, this is not the full story. Then Buddha taught, if the ignorance stops, when the ignorance stops, the karma stops. When the karma stops, consciousness stops. When that stops, the name and form stops. When that stops, the sources stop, contact stop, the feelings stop, and the attachment stop, grasping stop, the becoming stop, birth stop, aging stop, death stop, bewilderment, confusion, the heap of the miseries stop. This is what the Buddha taught. Okay, so now let me quickly explain these lines which the Buddha taught. The first one, when the Buddha taught that whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma. And whosoever sees the dharma will see the Buddha. What does it mean by that? So later you must read this. You must read this. This will clearly explain it's a dialogue based on Buddha's own teachings. It's a dialogue between Maitreya, the future Buddha, and Shariputra. This is a dialogue. Shariputra was asking each of these questions one by one to Maitreya, saying that this morning when the Buddha was passing by the rice seedling, the rice field, Buddha stopped and asked the monks, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma. Whosoever sees the dharma will see the Buddha. And Maitreya, what does it mean by dependent origination which the Buddha taught? What does it mean by dharma which the Buddha taught? And how that by seeing dependent origination, one will see the dharma. All these questions, A to Z, in detail, Shariputra asked to the Arya Maitreya, and the Arya Maitreya responded. All these very clearly. So this you have to read separately, and this is the very precious text for us. Okay. So dependent origination, seeing of which will make you to see what? Dharma. So this dependent origination, His Holiness the Dalai Lama classifies this into three. Yes, Gagan?
Where is that?
Okay. Go to the table of contents and you will easily see Rice Seedling Sutra. You're getting it? Okay. They know because the person who compiled this knew that once later on, after 20 years, there's a boy by the name Gagan is coming. For this, the person made the table of contents. Yes, did you find it? Good. Okay. So, the dependent origination, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they classifies this into three groups. Very important. The first one, dependent origination of the results and dependence on the causes. The first level, I should say, three levels of dependent origination. First level, dependent origination of results depends on the causes, number one. Number two, dependent origination of the whole's dependence on parts. Whole, the building is a whole, this house is a whole, and its parts like the ceiling, the floor, the walls, the pillars, the doors, windows, and so forth. These are the parts. The second dependent origination is dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on parts. Number 2. Number 3, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Let me repeat it. Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. The first, dependent origination of the results dependence on causes. Second, dependent origination of wholes depends on parts. Number 3, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Very good. Okay, now let me quickly explain each one of them. Each one of them. The first, what's the first one? Dependent origination of the results depends on causes. Okay, so let's say this flower. Okay, now that you know what is composite phenomena, what is impermanent phenomena, you know that the first level of dependent origination, and impermanent phenomena, these two are synonymous. The first level of dependent origination and impermanent phenomena, the composite phenomena, they are synonymous, meaning that the first level of dependent origination is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena, is not applicable to the permanent phenomena. So therefore, the first level of dependent origination and impermanent phenomena, these two are synonymous. Okay, now what is the second and the third? Second and third level of dependent origination is applicable to all phenomena, not only impermanent, to all phenomena. So having said this, the flower, is this composite phenomena or non-composite phenomena?
Composite phenomena.
Okay, composite, non-composite? Composite, yes. Okay, Shobit, this flower is composite phenomena, non-composite phenomena? Composite phenomena, very good. Okay, so composite phenomena and impermanent phenomena, these two are synonymous. And impermanent phenomena and first level of dependent origination, these two are synonymous. So which means that on top of this flower, with this flower, you can see all the 3 levels of dependent origination. You can see all the 3 levels of dependent origination. Okay, let us check. The first, this flower is a result. This flower came into being, but depends on its earlier causes and conditions. You agree? Yes, earlier seeds with these, then this flower came into being. So earlier causes and conditions give rise to this flower. So this is first level of dependent origination. Dependent origination of the results, that it being the result depends on the early causes. Number 2. What is number 2? Dependent origination of wholes depends on parts. That this flower is a whole. And for this flower to come to, as a whole, come into being, it has to depend on its parts, like the petals, then the stamen, stigma, and the leaves, the branch. So it has multiple parts. By all these parts coming together, then this is known as a whole. This is the wholes depends on the parts, number 2. And number 3, this is, what is the number 3? Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Say, do you agree with me that this flower, if I look at it through, I just keep it here, don't even touch it, don't move it, just keep it there. You look at it with naked eyes, you see a flower. And then you look at the same object through electron microscope, you see just pool of atoms. You agree? By the way, there is one, say, the documentary film. You must watch it, and it's very short, 10 minutes. This is you just type the powers of 10. The powers of 10. Just type it and you will see many documents coming out of that. These are mostly produced by NASA company. Most producers in Nasaka, the powers of 10, which means that what you're seeing, magnify this by 10 times. 10 times more, 10 times more, 10 times more. Gradually, say first you will see okay, this looks very, very fine texture, very beautiful. Okay, my hand, it looks nice. Beautiful. Maya? Yes. Huh? She's very positive. Okay, so say my hand is so beautiful. You look at the electric microscope, it's not beautiful. You look at the electric microscope, you will see the cracks. What are these cracks? You first see it. Oh, I thought it's beautiful. It's not beautiful. You're getting it? It's not beautiful. Aversion comes. First beautiful, involuntary pull happens. And you look through electron microscope. First you see the cracks. Involuntary push happens. Then through what are these cracks? These cracks are the cell partitions of the cell. You're getting it? Cell membranes. Then you go further fine tune electron microscope, you see the nucleus inside, cytoplasm, then the membrane. You go into the nucleus, you start to see the chromosomes. What are chromosomes like? Chromosomes, they are like the striped, brownish, snake-like structures, very repulsive to look at. Through further fine-tune, go into this, you will start to see the DNA molecules. Further go in, you will see the atoms. Okay, let's stop there. And physics, as of now, say they can see the atoms, but the electrons, protons, neutrons, so forth, is all through pure calculation. There's not really that they've seen it. Through calculation, they say that these things exist. Okay, but what they can see is the atom for the time being. Okay, so with this, they say that you go on that level, atoms, what you earlier saw as a beautiful flower disappears. What you earlier saw as a beautiful flower, it disappears. What you are seeing, pool of atoms. Okay, now, where is that flower? Which you earlier saw, where is that flower? Now you just see pool of atoms. None of the atom is that flower. Where is that flower? Okay, this is a very serious question. You getting it? And with this question, if something hits you with a feeling of uneasiness. Okay, what I'm seeing is not really there. What I'm seeing is a flower, so much from the object, objective flower is not really there. It's just full of atoms. The flower's not there. And it may give you a sense of little disturbance. For some of us, little disturbance can come. If it does happen, you are very fortunate. You're very fortunate. If it doesn't happen, don't worry. Study more, contemplate more, these feelings will come to you. When that happens, it is shaking our chronic belief that things exist objectively. Okay, you just pick up something and show that to me. Pick up something and show that to me. Okay, now look at it yourself. Look at it yourself. How does it appear? It appears objective real or subjective real? How does it appear? Objective real, raise hands. Objective real, okay. When do you see things as objective real? In the night or in the daytime? Both. When you're happy or when you're unhappy? Both, right? Okay. When you're young or when you're old? Both. In other words, seeing things as objective real, this is a chronic disease. Chronic disease within us is very faulty. And that is responsible for attracting all the tears of samsara. That is responsible for that. Now, when you say, where's the flower? It says, pool of atoms. Earlier I saw the flower. Where's that flower? Uneasy feeling comes. This is a clash between your chronic belief and the new wisdom, the dawn of the new wisdom. It's a clash. When the clash happens, it's a friction. Friction manifests in the form of uneasiness. You're getting it? If the uneasiness comes, you are very fortunate because that's the actual clash happening. Whereas, say, somebody says, okay, there's no pizza, and you bring a picture of the pizza, right? These two things clash or not clash? Huh? Hey, somebody say, in this hall there's no pizza. You bring a picture of pizza, right? Do these two things clash or not clash? What happens? Look, 1, 2, right? Say, pizza and no pizza, they clash, not clash? Clash. No pizza and picture of the pizza, clash, no clash? No clash, because picture of pizza is not a pizza. So these people, they're very happy if somebody brings you're very hungry. Somebody says, oh, it's a pizza, picture of pizza. They're very happy. What is this, Chelsea? You said this is a clash. You said, and this other Visha also said. Okay, picture of pizza and picture of pizza and the no pizza, do they clash? No clash, both are no pizza. But if one looks like pizza, you're getting it? So therefore, with these studies, if there's no clash happening in your mind, which means only you're bringing only the picture of the pizza. No pizza is coming, no real wisdom is coming, picture of the wisdom is coming. Picture of the wisdom is not the wisdom, you're getting it? But don't worry, this is very precious. If you have the picture of the pizza, it's so precious, although it is not pizza, but later when you go to the shop, you can say, oh, through this, then you can see the real pizza. You're getting it, help you, I don't want the real pizza. But this is not the real pizza, don't think this pizza. Okay, so when the clash happens, then the wisdom is coming. Dawn of the wisdom is coming, dawn of the wisdom happens. So wisdom and the ignorance, these two contradict. So it manifests in the form of uneasiness. If it does happen, so just seeing this, okay, I'm seeing a flower. Yes, it's a flower. It's a flower, right? Undeniably it's a flower. Then you look at the electron microscope, then you see the pool of atoms. What happens, the early flower that you saw is not there. And uneasiness comes. You're getting it? If it comes, it's you're very, very meritorious. But don't think that you've understood emptiness. This is the dawn. It's not the real bright sunlight. It's the dawn. You get it? Okay, if you think that this is emptiness, you are creating a dead end for yourself. Dead end means you cannot go beyond this. You are creating a dead end. You will not progress any further. And there are many, many, many layers of emptiness to be discovered, which are extremely, extremely precious for us. Okay, so with this, this flower fulfills objectively there's no flower, but subjectively flower appears. So flower is a concept that holds true only with respect to the mind imputing it. What's the third level of dependent origination? Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Mere mental designation. The mind imputes. Objectively, it's just pool of atoms. There's no flower there. But the mind imputes a flower. That's good enough. Right? Okay. We all know about the painting of Mona Lisa. You getting it? Painting of Mona Lisa. What is the painting of Mona Lisa like? Very expensive? Very expensive. I don't know the cost. It's very expensive. But imagine that the painting of Mona Lisa, if that is magnified, the painting means just for eyes. You getting it? You agree? Painting is just for eyes. If you don't see for eyes, if the eyes don't see this is the Mona Lisa painting, that's not a Mona Lisa painting. You agree? It's just for the eyes. For example, say cheesecake is for the eyes as well as for the tongue. Even though your eyes don't see that, but you taste it, you taste it, and your stomach full, that is cheesecake. But for the painting, there's no stomach filling. It's just for the eyes. You agree? It's just for the eyes. Now, if this painting is blown up, atoms, a gap between the atoms, they expand, you start to see the atoms, the painting disappears, painting of Mona Lisa disappears. You getting it? Where's the painting of the Mona Lisa? You getting it? You may think that for the cheesecake, you may think, okay, although we just see atoms, but you eat something, your stomach will full. But for the painting, there's no stomach full, no nothing. It's just for the eyes. And your eyes are now seeing the pool of atoms with the painting. So these are the things that we need to contemplate. And if uneasy feeling comes, this is a very good indication that your chronic belief, this ignorance is challenged. Okay, so in other words, this flower fulfills all the three levels of dependent origination. Okay, so the next it says that because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Because of ignorance, the karma arises. Because of which the consciousness arises, and so forth. So here, Arya Asanga, another name that we have to be familiar. Arya Asanga. Arya Asanga, who had the direct vision of Arya Maitreya here, the future Buddha, Arya Maitreya, the painting here, and also I think this statue, this there, Arya Maitreya. Okay, never mind. So here, the painting of Arya Maitreya is here. Are you sure? Which one? First one of the last shelf. Last. Okay. Aditi, are you sure?
I think I read it also.
Yes.
Huh? It gives a label. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. So Aditi is surprised. Geshe-la is too stubborn. He doesn't understand. He doesn't trust people so easily. Right? Okay, good. Okay, so yes, this is my style. I don't accept easily. I don't reject easily. I just learn something and don't accept it, don't reject it, give it to me, check it further. If Akia says something, Geshe-la, this is this, I will quote her. I would not say that it's my thought. I say I'm quoting Akia. If it's wrong, she's responsible. Okay, this is my style. You're getting it? I don't reject easily. I don't accept easily. I just learn it, keep it with me, check it further. Okay. Yes.
One day, I was told the statue outside was Arya Maitreya.
Yes.
It is true.
That's true. So usually Arya Maitreya, the one indication, not necessarily always. Arya Maitreya is the future Buddha. Current Buddha is Buddha Shakyamuni, whose statue is in the middle, behind His Holiness's frame, the Buddha Shakyamuni. And this is the future Buddha. The next Buddha to come is Arya Maitreya. And the Arya Maitreya, usually, it is not always the case, usually it is depicted, Arya Maitreya is depicted sitting on the chair with his feet down, sitting on the chair, and another indication is that on his crown there is the stupa. On the crown there's a stupa. Can you see that? Okay, so if you go outside, you see the stupa on Arya Maitreya's crown. You can see the stupa. But the crown is not necessary all the time. The stupa is not always necessary. Usually it's depicted with the stupa. Okay, good. Now, what was I saying? Arya Asanga, yes. Arya Asanga, when the Buddha taught, because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Because of ignorance, karma arises. Because of which the consciousness arises and so forth. So these three lines, Arya Asanga, put them in the form of what is known as three conditions. And this name, Arya Asanga, you must become familiar with this, because his compositions play an incredible great role in our growth. And who's Arya Asanga? Arya Asanga is the one who had direct vision of Arya Maitreya. Direct vision of Arya Maitreya. So, for this, let me just quickly share the anecdote. Arya Asanga and his half-brother, Acharya Vasubandhu. You must be familiar with these two names. One is Arya Asanga and his younger brother, Acharya Vasubandhu. When we say Acharya, Arya, and so forth, this is not just randomly said. These epithets are very standard epithets. You cannot say anybody as Arya. They are given these labels, for example, like in England. In England, for example, Lord, this is not just you say what? For example, Lord Roger Penrose. Roger Penrose is a Nobel laureate, and he was also given the lordship by the Queen, I think. By the Queen, the Lord, this is an epithet given by it's a title given to you by somebody. It's not that anybody can be called by Lord. Likewise, you can also buy them. You can buy the lordship.
If someone you buy that in the States, it comes for sale and you can take the title.
So then Shirula, what title did you buy? You're not interested. Then Shirula is not interested. It's just pure labels which creates your ego.
There are titles you can only get. There are titles you can only get by the king.
Okay, there are some titles which are Sir, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Some sir can be bought. Sir, you cannot buy it, you have to get it. You have to earn it. Not buy it. Earn it. Okay. So, likewise, Acharya, Arya, it's not randomly said, anybody Arya, Acharya. No, these are the epithets, these are the titles. Titles, they based on the current situation in those days. So, Arya Asanga, he is given the title Arya. Arya meaning somebody who has seen emptiness directly. Somebody who has seen emptiness directly. And that too, how do you know that he saw emptiness directly? So based on the prophecy the Buddha made. Based on the prophecy the Buddha made to Arya Sangha. And Arya Sangha, he had direct vision of Arya Maitreya. Let me quickly share with you this story. This is very important. Arya Sangha, somehow he could feel the connection with Arya Maitreya. And of course, Arya Maitreya already made the prophecy by the Buddha that he is going to be the future Buddha. Arya Maitreya. And Arya Sangha felt so connected and he wanted to have the vision. Vision meaning he wanted to see Arya Maitreya, meet, and get teachings from Arya Maitreya. And Arya Maitreya is in the form of the celestial divine beings, not as a human being like you and me. Then so for this, he went in, he came to learn that you have to meditate to have the vision of Arya Maitreya. So he planned for 3 years meditation. First 3 years meditation, then he did not get the vision of Arya Maitreya. So he gave up. He came out. Coming out, he saw that there was in his cave, from outside the cave, there was a water dripping, tick, 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 water dripping on the cave, and the cave was pierced. And he was so motivated, became so enthusiastic. Look, I just meditated for 3 years and I did not see Arya Maitreya and I'm giving up. I give up. But look at this. Look at this water, which is so the fluid is liquid, and the rock is very hard. However hard the rock is, but this very liquid, very gentle liquid, it hits constantly, Even the rock is pierced. So which means my enthusiasm was too weak. I should do more. So he again planned for additional 3 years. Again 3 years, nothing happened. Again he gave up, he came out. And he saw that in his cave there was one bird. And the staying, living there in his cave, and every morning the bird gets out, and the bird's feather hits the cave, the mouth of the cave, the mouth of the cave, and there was a dent in the mouth of the cave. The bird's feather is extremely gentle, fragile, and however fragile the feather is, when it hits the hard cave, hard rock, so often, even the cave, this feather can create dent. Oh, my enthusiasm, my effort is so less. Again, he said for another 3 years. 3 years. And nothing happened. He came out and he saw one old man making needles. Old man who could hardly see with his eyes, making needles. And they were, some old needles already made. Very fine needles made. And how he's making needles? A solid metal with the cotton. Cotton, keep rubbing it, and this solid metal gradually becomes finer. So this is what he's saying. What are you doing, sir? I'm making needles. And who saw needles there? And what do you do? How do you make it? With the cotton. Just stroking the metal with the cotton. Cotton is too smooth and the metal is too hard, and still he could make this. My enthusiasm is too less. Again he said for another 3 years. Nothing happened. 12 years gone. 12 years gone, nothing happened. He gave up. He came out. And then he saw a dog with a half body eaten by maggots. Half body eaten by maggots. So this dog could hardly walk because half body is gone. And still this dog was barking at Arya Sangha. And Arya Sangha felt so compassionate to the dog. So look, this dog, half body is gone, eaten by the maggot, and still barking. He felt so compassionate and he wanted to help the dog. So how to help? You have to remove the maggot. To remove the maggot, maggots are also sentient beings. So maggots will die. So to make sure that the maggots don't die, what do you do? He cut his flesh for the maggots to survive on his flesh. But he has to take it out. How to take it out? So he started to stretch his tongue to bring the maggots out and put it on his flesh which he cut. So then to move there with his eyes seeing the maggots and the body of the dog, he could not look. So therefore he closed the eyes and tried to remove the maggots with his tongue. And he started to smell something fragrance. Extremely beautiful fragrance. He started to smell it. What is this? He opened his eyes. Arya Maitreya was there. Then he started to complain. Actually, he should be happy. After 12 years of giving up, he should be happy. Now finally, I see you. He started to complain. Where were you all these 12 years? Where did you go? I almost gave up several times. Where did you go? Your compassion is not so strong. So complaining. Then Arya Maitreya said, the day when you entered this cave, I was there. The day when you entered, I was there. Believe it or not, every day you start meditation by saying, you remove your sputum through here and there. Look at this, these are your sputum. He showed, these are your sputum. This is what you have been throwing. Right? Meditation, then throws here. This is your sputum, look. So, Arya Sangha was so happy. And then he said that, Arya Maitreya, the whole town, whole city must meet you. Please, get on my shoulder. I want to let everybody have the vision of you. And Arya Maitreya said, this is not possible. But he's seeing Arya Maitreya in person, a real person. So he insisted, please, please, please get on my shoulder. I want to take you to, that everybody should get a chance to see you. Then Arya Maitreya said, okay. And then he was carrying Arya Maitreya on his shoulder and going around the town, shouting, everybody come to have the blessings of Arya Maitreya. And people thought that he was crazy. What is this? Say some people, they don't see anything. Some people see a dead body of a dog. And one person saw, say, the 2 feet of Arya Maitreya, and nothing was seen otherwise. So this is the story of Arya Sangha. Arya Sangha, later he became incredibly great teacher. He received teachings from Arya Maitreya. All these teachings are available to us in Tibetan. And the major text is Abhisamaya Alankara, Ornament of Clear Realization. In the big monastic universities, like Seri Tibungandan, they spent like minimum 6-7 years to study this short text. This text, composed by Arya Maitreya, passed down to Arya Sangha. Okay, so Arya Sangha, he summarized these 3 points which the Buddha taught in what is known as the 3 conditions. Okay, we'll do this in the next class. Tagya toja shagya so chon shenge me to dege bonjamba Segelumbo tabo jebe ko shagebo kela cha selo oh mone Mahamona Yeswaha Om Muni Mahamona Yeswaha Om Muni Mahamona Swaha Om Muni Mahamona Swaha Om Muni Mahamona Swaha Om Muni Mahamona Swaha. 3 processions together.